The companies you're involved with now, isn't it like
Quite a few.
and a lot of that is to use business solutions to really help real world issues.
It's not thought out that way. Business opportunities approach me maybe a dozen a day sometimes, at least one every day. Will you join me? Will you join our company? Will you be on our board of advisors? Whatever. They just want my name, and I'm only one person. I don't have a staff. I don't have money. I gave that away a long time ago, and I just have to. It bothers me the number of times I have to say no, and then they still come back at you, and you have to say no more and hide from them a little. So I get hit a lot. Once in a while, I used to meet people more often. Maybe once a week I'd go out to a lunch and hear what they're up and just say, that really sounds good. I'm not a part of it. I don't want to get into anything new. I have a busy life. And then one time I sat down and they started talking about solid state disks. Do you all know what solid state disks are? They're chips, and they're faster than the old hard disks that were made of atoms spinning around. They use electrons in the solid state disks, and everybody was starting to talk about it. And this one company, they had, instead of building a solid state disk that you connect where it disconnects, they had a board that plugs right into the slots in the computer. You were getting about the 8 slots in the Apple II even. Plugs right into the slot in the computer, and then has software that makes it perform like a disk. And because of that, you can write better software that makes it have more data and run faster than all these other approaches to disk drives that have to use a standard connector that goes at a certain standard speed. And this company had designed things the way I thought as a designer. When I designed stuff for Apple, and I was offered a chance to join them, and I said yes. And that was Fusion IO. They went big and successful, as fast and important as Apple when they did. They changed the whole world. They were just starting, you're starting out, and a 1 gigabyte solid state disk at first cost $20,000.
Wow.
We're up to terabytes now for hundreds of dollars in solid state disk. 1 terabyte for $170 today. I mean, that was a great company. I was so glad to be a part of that because they were changing the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really make a lot from it. The founders made, a couple $100 million each, but then they each divorced their Mormon wives to Salt Lake City, and but I didn't think these Mormons with their tight families that I would have dinners with that would ever, be in that divorce category. So that was Fusion IO. Now, more recently, there was a group that approached me, and what they do is they look at ways you can make electricity costs more efficient. Go into a big company, a big factory, and change lights and change air conditioners and do other things and make it use less electricity. And then they would collect a portion of the savings. But they would have to finance it themselves. They'd have to go in, do all the installations of the materials. And they were making tens and hundreds of millions of dollars a year for like 6 years. This is an ongoing, successful company that has a formula. They're real people. And crypto was starting up. And I talked to them for 2 years. It took them to talk me into joining them, as I liked what they did. But what they made it really interesting. We're going to have a crypto coin on an exchange. They wound up naming it WozX, and it's on an exchange in Malta and a couple other places. And then people can buy in, and the blockchain tracks everything from turning on a light switch to all the costs involved in the savings, and you get part of the savings right in the blockchain. You as the investor in it, and it's called F-Force. EFFORCE, and I really love what it's all about. It's all about energy efficiency. I was about that my whole life.
Yeah.
And then we got the space company, started by a really good friend of mine that he always has business thinking so far beyond me, and thinking about all the sub-markets and who you can approach for things, and raising money. Has done incredible with his last company, Ripcore. They're going to go public next year probably, for a couple of trillion. I don't know.
I sold an NFT at one point, and people were getting mad at me. They were barking at me about energy being wasted with the NFT. So is this energy saving solution?
Well, even Bitcoin, gold of all, it's only mathematical. No human can control Bitcoin and the amounts of it and anything. That's it takes a lot of energy to mine it, to keep Bitcoin, to keep these all the cyber currencies and NFTs going. But it costs amount of energy for whatever anything is worth.
Right.
Because the costs, the economy, 3 E's. The economy equals the energy used equals the emissions, meaning pollution. Okay? And that's a formula you'll never hear anywhere else. Sounds as easy as E equals MC squared from Einstein, right? It's that easy. the global economy, GNP say, equals the amount of energy that was used. If you double one, you double the other. And that equals the amount of pollution that we get. Double the energy, you'll double the pollution. The only way to really solve this climate problem is take our lives way, way back down in economy. Take them way back down. So I don't buy into a lot of, people thinking, do this one little step, buy an electric car or get a solar panel, that it actually makes any difference at all. It could actually go the opposite way, just like the Bitcoin mining. But, everything we got in life, a house, a car, this RV is beautiful.
Do you think the world's going towards crypto, or you think we'll always stick with fiat currency?
It's hard to erase things that humans have learned and can put into books, methods of doing it. Some countries have even disallowed crypto and blockchain technologies. It can be used a lot. I think it's being used a lot these days to rip people off. I'll start a crypto. I'll hire an engineer that knows how to create it, and I'll get a celebrity to back it up, and we'll put out the Kim coin, Kim Kardashian, or something like that. That's probably a bad example, but
it's a great example.
That's a great example.
It is?
It's a really good one.
Okay, because I don't do social web, so I don't really know the names to use. But we'll call, and I see that happening all the time. And then the founders that started it pull off some millions of dollars right away from investors that say, I want to get in quick and early when it's young, because it's going to grow like Bitcoin. I'll make $1 billion out of pennies. And they jump in, and then it goes to zero. That's the common story. It's not the only story. There's some others that have made it for a while for some good reasons. Yeah, so I'm kind of, NFTs fall into that category too. The number of people getting ripped off on crypto and NFTs is just outrageous. Now, Bitcoin is safe because it's the big elephant on the block. It's stable.
Right.
Like conservative thinking, you go for the big ones and they'll be around. And Bitcoin is
So you
stable. So I don't invest.
You don't invest.
I have never invested in stock in my life. I've never used Apple's stock app on the iPhone. Never. Because why? It goes to my happiness formula. I found that my head gets to a peaceful spot where it's not worrying about everything being up and down, up and down, up and down like day traders. I had day traders around me, and I watched what they went through, and I just turned the other way. I don't read any financial papers. I don't want to be, I don't want that to affect my life, so I never invested in stocks. Bitcoin, I bought a bunch of Bitcoin at the start to say, how do you play with this new thing? How do you buy something online? And I conquered that. And how do you buy things in other countries? And how would you even pay for like a donut in another country? How can you find an ATM that works on your Bitcoin? And I wanted to experiment and learn it all. And then Bitcoin went way up. Well, I got scared and I sold all my Bitcoin except one Bitcoin. That's not my purpose, is to have enough to play with and experiment with, but not to make money on. And 2 times it's gone way up and made money. And just recently, I think Bitcoin is going to go to 100,000. I just, I don't know where you get that feeling. I can't put any mathematics to it. I just really feel it from all of the interest. The interest in crypto is so high. And so I put a bunch of money into an online wallet account, Coinbase, and pretty much it's sitting right where it was right now. Went way up, it doubled, and then it halved again, and but that's not my way in life. That's not important to me.
America. If you thought Jackass Forever was crazy, oh boy, do I have a show for you. It's a multimedia comedy show called The Bucket List Tour. And the stuff I filmed for this show is way too hot for Jackass. Like the general anesthesia bike ride, the vasectomy Olympics, and skyjacking. The footage is so intense, we have full-grown men passing out at almost every city this bus goes to. So if you think you can handle it, get your tickets right now at stevo.com. Yeah.